Chief of South Africa, Honourable President Jacob Zuma, constituted this day in recognition of the major tragedy that happened in 1917 on the SS Mendi, when over 600 men in uniform lost their lives. And of course, we can't not talk about this day without recognizing the role of the military veterans. They're part of the organizational structure of Armed Forces Day, of course, in conjunction with the Department of Defense. Right now, I'm joined by the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Kebby Maphatsoe. Sir, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Morning, sir, and the viewers.
Let's talk about the military veterans and the role that they play, and why it's so important that we start recognizing and talking about that role.
You would remember, sir, that after our independence, there was no role or any opportunity given to honor those who played a very important role in our struggle, especially the former Liberation Army forces. So in 2007, the ANC took a resolution that they must create a ministry of military veterans in order to honor those who played a role in the liberation of our struggle.
Let's talk about legislation and how that recognizes the role of the veteran.
The Legislation Act 18 of 2011 talks about the benefits that should be accrued by military veterans. One of them is that they must be honored and memorialized. They must also get houses. They must also play a role in the economy of our country. They must also get bursaries, including their dependents. They must get proper, befitting funerals and also play a role in society. That is the role of the military veterans. But we're also saying alone the Department of Defense and Military Veterans cannot achieve that. It needs other departments of government, including the private sector.
Deputy Minister, let's talk about days like today, the Armed Forces Day, and breaking down stereotypes, and especially the youth and public at large understanding that role.
It is important that this government of the ANC, it is now bringing the army to the people, not the army that will be in the barracks only, but the army that will educate the role of the men and women in uniform that are playing both inside and outside outside the country. This has not been happening for a long time. I would agree with you that in 2012 the president pronounced on that. So it is really to bring education and to make sure that the youth, they take this opportunity, especially the young ones, to come and join the South African National Defence Force.
Sir, how should we as the ordinary public, members of the society, celebrate the role of the military veteran, celebrate the military veteran?
We want to play the community and the society to remember that, as President said in his closing remarks at the State of the Nation address, that we can't forget about our history, what happened before, that we were oppressed, killed, massacred by the apartheid regime. But now we've built a new South Africa, that all of us were equal before the law, and we are building a non-racial, democratic, non-sexist and prosperous South Africa. So military veterans should be recognized by all our people, especially the youth, because they don't know what role military veterans in both sides, both the former liberation armies and the South African Defence Force. So we are in the process of going out in the communities, making sure that they interact with us. We walk together this road of recognizing the role of both the members in uniform and military veterans.
Can we just take this, we've got one more minute to talk about this, but can we take it to a very personal level very quickly? What does it mean to you as an individual that we are finally here? It's only the third event. It started in 2012, and yet there seems to be galvanized support. We seem to be on this very being able to gather some momentum and getting the public to understand what the role of the National Defence Force is, but also where we've come from.
I remember vividly, sir, that it was in Durban when the ANC had a National General Council, where in the Peace and Stability Subcommittee we recommended that there should be Armed Forces Day in South Africa. And I'm happy that the President endorsed that, and it's now just celebrated. I think it's the fourth year that we're celebrating it now. So we want to work with our communities, we want to work with society, that they must know that as the last line of defense, military people, both in uniform and those who are not in uniform, they must be respected, because these are the ones who are protecting our borders. Those are our ones who are protecting our airspace. Those are the ones who are giving us intelligence about rogue things that are happening in our country. So it's important that we respect them, we treat them with respect, and we must always honor those who fell in line on duty.
Deputy Minister, thank you very much for joining me here. And of course, that's Kebby Maphatsoe sharing his thoughts on Armed Forces Day 2015. We've got so much more.